forged to be as sharp as his trumpet. There were moments of levity, and the young ladies would find something to giggle about. Raoul stopped rehearsals and turned to the ladies, and with a stern countenance, he declared, You're laughing? You should all be crying. Se están riendo, debieran de estar llorando. The choir began to rehearse for their first and only record. The planned selections were Peace in the Valley, The Holy City, and Raul Gonzalez also planned a trumpet solo. It was his love for me. There was a time when choir Ecos de Vida had 50 voices, and the Lord blessed this choir with many more selections. The small record was an instant favorite in 1964 and marked a watershed in the life of this beloved choir. The record reveals the classic sound of the choir Ecos de Vida. The range and dynamic crescendo of voices are still a delight to hear. If one listens very closely, Joaquin's voice is heard, as well as Felicita, Nieves, and Carmen can be clearly acknowledged. It was in the mid-60s when the choir was to endure a major crisis. Director Raul Gonzalez had parted from the Lord, the church, and the choir that he never stopped loving. The choir was now being guided by Raul's sister, Carmen Ortiz. Carmen was officially appointed by Reverend Berrios to direct the church choir. Carmen, who was known by many in the choir as Lala, would be the director who guided the choir through this difficult period. Carmen was directing a group of ladies from the choir for many months, informally. Reverend Berrios had told the church he had been praying for guidance when the Lord had indicated that Carmen Ortiz was to lead the choir. He gazed at the choir and gave them full support by replenishing additional choir robes. The choir was now resuming an official capacity. The choir would use these robes on special occasions like Christmas and Easter. Reverend Berrios loved when they wore robes. He once indicated to the choir that the choir should wear the robes every time that they sang. The dark blue robes were enhanced with long golden collars, with the embossed initials Ecos de Vida. It was a majestic visage as the grand choir marched down the aisle to be positioned at the choir loft on the right-hand side of La Sinagoga. The rehearsals for the choir resumed on Thursdays at 8 p.m. Carmen Ortiz, a tall, energetic woman, hurried to the second floor of the church and headed towards the piano. A small service and prayer would take place before each rehearsal. The specific tune was practiced with each group, going to the piano and then rehearsing separately. The groups would join as soon as we all heard the familiar voice calling toditos, all. The choir would then come together, and the song was born. Great friends were developed. They have existed for many years due to the closeness of this ministry. Many weeks of rehearsals would be spent on the Easter and Christmas songs. The revered Cánticos Nuevos and the Hallelujah Chorus were among the favorites of the choir. There is a haunting song that comes to mind during the 1960s. It is vintage of the times, and the very mysterious melody transports us all to a period of spiritual nostalgia. The song, Huye, cual ave tu monte. The gentle staccato and soft cadence, entwined with powerful delivery and message, inspired all listeners, and God bless the congregation. O alma angustiada de mal, bellowed the choir, as God lifted the chorale to a spiritual mount where the blessings flowed in profound ways. We might note that Francis E. Serrano was the official pianist during the mid-1960s, and he was also a pupil of Raul, the director at the time. Francis, known as Papito, played also for a brief time during Carmen's years. Carmen Ortiz